Okay, so I have curled and prepped all of the hair, and then we've gave it a slight back comb in at the root. I've just worked through the whole head, given it a back comb in at the root, applying a little bit of dust at first and then back combing it. Then to finish off, to smooth it slightly, I have added a little bit of spray wax and shine spray. Also some Tame and Wild I've put onto the ends to hydrate those ends, to keep it looking nice and smooth, give you a nice finish. You need to keep that up as we're working through the hair. So we're on to the next bit. So I always like to section my client's hair off. I always like to keep the front sections forward and bring that into the hair at a later stage. Obviously this is once you have figured out where your client's parting is going to be, or if they're going to have it all back. You can work with that as you go. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to go something really big, really glam. It's my favourite styles. So this is all underneath here, is all back combed and ready for the donut placement as well. So I'm going to take a little top section off as well. Just going to keep that to get a bit more volume. And there's a bit of... So I've previously prepped some hair extensions using a coat hanger, which is a really handy wee trick. Over a drawer, curl them and then pin them up as well. So let's add some extensions in to make this really full on glam. So this is going to be our top volume. The sides are going to be joined at a later date, and this here is going to go, majority of it's going to go into a donut, and we're leaving some to pin back. So I like to leave some hair out. So literally about an inch around the hairline I'm leaving out. Again, just making sure that's nice and smooth. I'm going to apply a wee bit of Tame and Wild into my hands, just for working through. Okay, so give it a little light comb. And you can So that is all going to come up onto the top. I'm going to use a small elastic. Excuse my broken nails. That's what happens in a pandemic. You can't get your nails done, unfortunately. It's not a top priority. So I want the donut placement to be quite high. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks good. So this is where my donut placement is going to go. Okay. And what I'm just going to do is pull this out so ever so slightly, just keeping it nice and soft. Okay, so to use a donut, place it the pony through the hair of the donut. And I'm going to use my Kirby's unopened and place it near the bottom of the donut. I'm going to show you here. Take that off. So near the bottom of the donut, you don't want to go too high. If you go too high, it's going to change the shape. If you go into the middle, not that secure. So just the corner edge, and normally I would do 4. Start off with a base, 2 at the top corners and 2 at the bottom corners. And you're going to pop it through, pull it out and push it in to your back combing. Okay? Again, bottom corner, pull that out and push it into the back combing. So I'm just going to anchor this with 4 Kirby's. You also want to check with your client it's not going through the extensions. It won't be uncomfy for her throughout the day. So a wee shake at that, feels quite secure. If you feel like you need to, again, you can add an extra one at the top, the sides, the bottom. Just be aware of where your veil placement's going to be, because you don't want a bunch of Kirby's stopping the veil from going through there. So as I want to go super glam, super big, we're going to double up with another donut. So this is a donut and I've cut it in half. Okay. We're going to place it round, secure it at the top. And to secure this, I'll show you at this side. It's the same method, pulling that through the donut padding and pushing it up and into the padding, or same up and into the hair. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 at each side. Okay, that feels quite secure. If you want to, you can weave one. I've not opened a Kirby still, so you can weave a little Kirby. See if I can turn her to show you. Okay, just to make sure they don't come apart, you just pop it through and weave it as if you're sewing. Okay, and that just stops that from splitting at any point. It shouldn't do, but if it makes you feel better, that's going to be a bit more secure for your client. So again, just making sure that our hair is nice and smooth as we go. Now I prefer to start from the back and then work my way forward. So I'm going to work with this, turning her again. Okay, so we're going to split this into 4 sections. Okay. And with each section, I'm going to give it a little back comb at the root. More the side that's not going to be showing, okay? Because if you back comb at this side and then pull it over, you've got all that frizz, and back combing over the top. So back combing underneath. And then I'm just going to use this here to pin it around and cover that donut. Again, I don't really tend to open my Kirby's much, as they can be hidden then. So for now, I'm going to work with the top section, which usually I would have a mirror, but it's okay. We Ingrid can just content herself looking at the wall. Okay. So I'm going to create a V section across the top. And with this here, I'm just going to turn her so that you see. Hold on, if I can show you around here. Okay. Okay, so you figure out with your client how much height they wanted, what volume. I'm going to make that a little bit thicker and a wee bit more back. And I like to put a little bit of a slight twist. So I can show you. On the top, okay. Now I just let it loose, let it sit naturally, and then decide where you want to pin it. Okay, obviously you need to pin it at each side to keep the shape, but work with your client and pull some of their hair out, not out, up. Making sure you get the right volume. Again, not opening the pins. little bit of my wax spray again. Just make sure I'm keeping any little flyaways at bay. Okay, and you want to pull it down at the sides. You can't have that bit sticking up. Okay, it's all about keeping the proportion as well for your client. Love the smell of that wax spray. Now this is the hair that's left. We want to give that a wee comb through and pull that out. So this bit of hair that I left out, let's go back to that. Put a wee comb through, a little bit of wax spray. Okay, and I'm going to twist it with the curl, not a tight twist, we don't want to tighten it like that, we just want to keep it a nice soft twist, okay? And then pull it out. Open this Kirby up and grab all of that hair in there and almost I'm just going with the bend and popping that into there. Just checking that all your padding's covered as well. I'm loving this wax spray, it's really good. We want to get these front sections aside as well still. And we're going to take this back. Now I'll spray a little bit of wax spray on there. Give it a comb through. What I want to do with these sections, I'm going to pop a little bit of Tame and Wild on my hands as well. Just the tiniest bit, because our hair feels a wee bit dry and pretty. So yeah. What I want to do with this, I want to take it up and keep the look very soft, but at the same time I want to keep some hair down so it's quite soft. We'll go with this section and then I'll take the sides up. You can split that, you can do it in different ways. I'm just doing it this way for me. I'm going to decide, give it a little back comb at the root. If your bride is wearing her veil under here, you would want to make sure that was well back combed for security of the veil. You want to decide where you want this to go. Then I'm going to pull some little sections out. And again, the Kirby's been opened because I want this whole section to be pinned up there. Okay. Once that's pinned up again, you can pull some of the sections out. Keep that nice and soft. And let's see what this wee bit of hair, where we're going with that. So I'm just going to pin that up so it's sitting up a wee bit higher. is a wee bit too long. So I'm going to take it just about there in the curl and pin it up into the style. Okay, so it's still keeping it out, but just taking a bit of the length away from it. Split that as well. Could put it all back in one go, but I'm a bit concerned it might be a bit too solid looking there, so I'm going to split it in two. Again, you can comb it ever so slightly if you want. Okay, and almost bending that again and popping it up. So we're going to pull some, okay, hold on to that, pull some of that hair out as well, just to make it really soft looking. Okay, and then push that up. And again, I like this, but I just want it to be a wee bit higher, so I'm just turning and pushing that up. Okay, so see, I split the curvy on top of the hair and twist and push it up into the area I want it pinned, and then just pull some textured hair there. So we're going to decide how much the client, where her parting is, if she wants volume at the front. So keep a few soft, maybe take that bit back, a few wisps around her face. So I always like to pull the hair up, it gives a nicer shape to the face. And split that into two. So unopened and just a wee weave through and push down. Okay, now I need to cover these curvies though, so I'm just going to unopen and push a wee curvy over the top to hold that hair down. Okay, pull it out at any bits that you feel might need it. Again, just using a little bit of shine spray or wax spray to define. I'm going to go over these at the end. Avoid it looking too ringlety, I would not take a big section like that and leave out at the front, unless that's what your client wanted. So I like to take a little bit from the bottom, not quite as much as that, and then maybe a wee bit higher up from the hairline. Okay, it's just a wee bit softer. So another tip I would say is when you're styling the hair back from the front of the face, some people have a side fringe and like to keep that down, but then at other points it can just fall into their face like this all day at the ceremony. So what I would recommend to do is keeping this section back and even possibly taking a wee bit from underneath, and that still keeps it nice and soft. So I'm just going to give her a little back comb at the top. Give it 3 backs again. Now, when you look at the proportion, I'm looking at her and this side is sticking out a little bit more than I want it to. So this is why it's really handy to have a mirror with you. So I actually carry in my kit, in my car anyway, I carry a little, so just a little mirror from B&M, and it can fit on a table. You can use that, it's really handy when you don't have a mirror at your venue. A wee tip for you. So I'm just popping a couple of curbies in at the side here just to take that volume in. That's better. What I'm going to do is curl out the front, and then I will come back and show you the end result. As well as curling the front sections, I also went through the back of the hair, gently pulling and tweaking in areas I felt needed, creating the correct amount of volume and softness, ensuring that all padding was covered.